started?
Yeah, let's get started.
Perfect. And I did forget to mention, so just at the beginning as well, this webinar is also being recorded. So just for FOIP and everything, that's why we do let students know that if you do want to remain anonymous, you have that option of keeping yourself private. But we do have to let you know that the session is being recorded, just so that you all know. And there will be a question and answer period after we all introduce ourselves and have a quick chat about some information. So if you want to, there is a conversation part, I guess, in the side there of the chat menu. You can, during the question and answer period, write your questions there if you wish to type it out instead of coming on the screen and chatting as well. All right, so I will pass it over to Brad to kick off the meeting.
All right, thank you, Caitlin, and thank you everyone for joining us today. It's a privilege to be able to spend some time with people other than my family. I love my family, but it's nice to connect with the larger community. So if you're on the call today, you've joined the business school kind of update as we prepare for the fall. We sent out some information in a memo or a letter, and we thought it would be nice to follow up with that letter with a few more details, a few thoughts that we have as a business school, and thought that you might be able to benefit from that. I'd like to welcome you all. My name is Brad Onofrichuk. I'm the Dean of the Business School, and I also have the Energy School in my portfolio as well. And I've been at the college. I'm starting my 14th year, and have worked mostly in the business department during those 14 years. And, really grateful to have a strong and supportive team in the business department, faculty and staff. They're quite committed to their craft and to you as students, and we're happy to share some of those sentiments and feelings this morning. I'd like to recognize that we've got several different groups of students joining us today. We have students that are returning. We have brand new students or prospective students that are either joining us this fall or thinking about joining us. We have students in our certificate programs, diplomas, and degree programs. We have Canadian students and international students. We also have students preparing for online delivery this fall, and we have many of you may not know, we have got a campus or a partnership with Cumberland College in northeastern Saskatchewan. And that program will be largely delivered face-to-face because of small numbers. They tend to have less than a dozen students, where this business school tends to be well over 300. And so different challenges, but I wanted to recognize the different students joining us today, and hope that you'll benefit from the time that we have together this afternoon. I'd also like to recognize those that are joining us, and I won't name everybody, but the key speakers today. I'll give a few opening remarks. We'll hear from the department chair, Ben Aquay. We'll hear from Caitlin Clary, who is the advisor for the business school. And we have two people from the Commons, the Learning Commons, that will talk about supports that are available to students now and into the fall and into the new year. And at the end of the call today, we'll hopefully have enough time for some questions and answers. I know that a lot of people may be shy about asking a question in this format, so please feel free to text in or type in your questions. There's a texting function on your toolbar, so please take advantage of that. We'll try to answer as many questions as we can. If there's questions we can't answer, we may need to get back to you, but I think we've got a pretty solid plan leading into the fall, and we should be able to answer most of your questions today. So the purpose of today's meeting, in my mind, is twofold. To put your minds at ease and to prepare your minds for a slightly different delivery this upcoming semester. For those returning students, you have some experience with some online delivery and instructors converting to an online format fairly quickly in March. And know that the faculty are busily preparing still for continued online delivery for this fall, or a blended delivery format, which includes options particularly for international students and those not comfortable with coming on campus. There will be options for students to take our programming online this fall at least. So the overall overarching purpose of the meeting today is hopefully to put your minds at ease as you prepare yourself through the summer for school in the fall. And we recognize that returning students have some experience with this. We also recognize that students that just graduated high school may have some experience with online delivery and a little bit of a change in pace and what they may be expected and what they're used to. So I'm going to address two things today. One is safety. First and foremost is safety, and the second is quality. So on the safety side, what will life look like in the fall? Know that the business department is set up and has been preparing for 5 or 6 years for more online options. And so out of all of the programs at the college, the business school is more adaptable to delivering online. Our preference, and this is important, our preference is face-to-face delivery, and we would like to have some face-to-face options. It probably won't be every day, every hour, but we are trying to prepare some face-to-face options for those that are able and willing to come into the college in September and going forward. And for those that are not able overseas, or those that are not comfortable, there will be online options for those activities and whatnot. So students will not be left out whether they choose a fully online delivery this fall or take advantage of some of the face-to-face options that we have. So what you'll notice on campus for the times when you can, and if you can make it in, you'll notice a few differences. One is that there will be a lot more signing in the college, brand new signing to encourage 2-meter distancing, remind people to wash their hands and sanitize. There will be stop signs on the floor, stickers on the floor, stickers on the wall. We do need to be very careful to maintain distance and care as we return together and study together and learn together. We need to be careful as far as our health is concerned. And so we encourage you to follow those signs. You are welcome and encouraged. And in some cases, there are mandatory mask requirements. But at the very least, we strongly encourage you to bring masks with you to the college for those times when we can't physically separate, which may be in the hallway. We encourage you to wear those masks. So if you can look for those kinds of things this fall, they will be different and probably not unexpected as we shop in our communities now. We've seen some of those things, spacing, masks, and signage. So those are being implemented in the college as well. If you're not feeling well this fall at any point, please stay home. There will be online options for you. And please get checked out, get tested if you're exhibiting some of the symptoms of COVID-19. So that basically covers the safety side. We are preparing for a return to college this fall, a physical return with online support and online options. And it will look different, it will feel different, and I think it's in our best interest to prepare ourselves mentally for a different delivery this fall. On the quality end, I've talked about a talented faculty pool. We have 10 faculty in the department who are passionate. They're spending, frankly, a lot of their summer holidays doing some prep work for the fall. And they're putting their best efforts forward so that although our strength is face-to-face delivery, The faculty are trying their best and putting in a lot of work in order to prepare for you for the fall return. As I said before, we've been working on some online options, so a lot of the faculty in the business school have experience with online delivery and online prep. And I have strongly encouraged them to include, hopefully, a weekly option on campus and have some face-to-face activity. And I've asked them to make the most of those times when you're invited to be on campus, to make the most of those times as well. So I think that for me covers off the safety and the quality that for me are probably the two biggest concerns for you. And I hope that puts your mind at ease in those regards. The last, I'll share a few pieces of advice here, and then I'll turn the floor over to Ben to talk a bit about blended learning and what life might look like in the classroom this fall. My advice is to participate fully in your classes this year, that your classes will look differently than normal, and you will have opportunities to participate, and please take full advantage of those. Look for ways to connect with people, whether it's online in small groups, and particularly try to connect with your faculty members and the teachers in your classes. It's a great group, and it will be a little bit more challenging rather than a face-to-face connection and environment. There will be opportunities to connect and share some of yourself with the faculty. They'll share with you. I think those connections can still take place, although it is a bit more challenging with online delivery. My final piece of advice is take advantage of the supports that are available. Today, Tammy and Karen will talk about supports available from the Learning Commons this summer and ongoing. Please take advantage of those. And I think if you are able to put these pieces of advice into practice, you'll have a successful year with us at Lakeland. So thank you again for joining us. Appreciate all of those that have taken time at home and at work to join us to talk a little bit about this upcoming year. All right, Ben, take it away. Oh, you're muted there, Ben.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Brad. And thank you, every one of you, for making it for today. It's exciting, surely, to see you. I know a lot of you have exchanged a lot of emails with us, but this is one of the best opportunities to interact with you and answer a huge number of questions, concerns, and queries that you have. And quite frankly, which some of us still have about what's happening for fall. And so, as Brad alluded to, this is a collection of new students, of current students, and some of our new students are also international students. So wherever you are very warmly welcome here. As Brad spoke, he talked about our planning for next year. And yes, our planning for next year, originally, actually, we were planning for a fully online fall semester. That was a few weeks ago when when the Alberta Health Services suggested, or their most updated guidelines said, looked like we would not be able to have face-to-face classes in September, but things have changed. And so I know that a number of profs will have some online classes and would have some room for some face-to-face classes. So perhaps if you have classes which are timetabled for 3 times a week, one of them may be in person, and if you are unable to attend, you'll be accommodated as an online student. So we are trying our best to make sure that we are able to meet what you expect. I'm also advising faculty that somewhere before we start classes to get in touch with all students and find out what your thoughts are with regard to in-person classes or online classes. I know a good number of you love Lakeland College because of the face-to-face classes, and you are more than happy to put on your face mask, socially distance, and come into class and have an interaction. And I can tell you, a good number of our profs also want the same thing. And so I'm asking all my profs to, before the semester starts, to contact every class and say, hey, I have prepped for this, but I really like to know what you think so that we can have some conversations to make sure your needs will be fully met. So we would not say, we are doing it this way, take it or leave it kind of approach. We will seek to involve you in the conversations. And in fact, if at this point you have some thoughts about what you would like on and what has worked for you, by all means, please send an email through to Caitlin or send it to me, and I will make a note of it for the profs. So you should have chosen your classes for most of you. And if you have a very strong preference, I mean, if you just want the online one, then you want to be assured that not physically coming in will not affect you negatively. And if you really would like some face-to-face, please send me an email, send Kedley an email, and let us know what you think. Let's start the conversation now and throughout the summer instead of waiting till August or September. When it comes to face-to-face classes, yes, it's possible in cases where instructors say, you know, we'll have some face-to-face classes, but what I would do is I'll split you guys into two. These guys can come in on Monday, these guys can come in on Wednesday, and then the rest of you will catch up with, will keep pace with some online progress. And I think that is quite similar to what a lot of employers are doing. As you know, one of the big things for us is making sure you are ready for the world of work. And in the world of work today, in some cases, you do have some face-to-face coming to work. And in some cases, you do also have work from home options. So we are preparing you for what is actually happening in the real world environment. Many of you would have to access your course books as online course books. I know for my courses, I am recommending the online versions, and we did the same last year for a couple of my courses as well. And so that trend of online course books will continue. Again, nothing stops you from buying the hard copy version. And sometimes I like to print some things so I can look at them very quickly. Perhaps at some point we can talk about whether the college will continue to rent out laptops. I know towards the end of last year we did that. I'm not so sure we'll do that this year. I've not had clear guidance on that. And overall, I'm more inclined to find out what your thoughts are. But from a faculty end, we are thankful for the returning students that you put up with a huge amount of disruption at the end of last semester, and we were able to get through last semester. Thank you very much. We have a bit more prep time now, and we have a lot of content prepped for online delivery. But if you are the kind of student who likes a face-to-face delivery and you like to see your instructors, not to hug them, not to shake their hands, but maybe through a mask, just make eye contact. We will find a way to make that happen as well. So please start throwing your questions on the chat option. Don't wait for, hey, you can ask your questions now. Please throw your questions in and let's continue the conversation. Thank you so much for your time. As questions crop up, I'll still be around and I'll take those questions. Handing you back to Caitlin. Cheers.
All right, thanks, Ben. Okay, so I'll just introduce myself as some of you returning students would already know me. I'm Caitlin Clary. I'm the Business Academic Advisor. For those new students coming in, it is unfortunate. Usually this time of year I would be meeting you all in person and going through your program planners and timetabling stuff. Obviously with the situation, I have not been meeting anyone in person. So I basically will just be chatting about the process today, what you can be looking out for, some tips, and then just explaining the emails that have been sent out. If you haven't gotten an email yet, I just wanted to let you know that they are sent out in batches. So don't stress yet if you haven't gotten an email for new students yet. We will be sending out the next batch in July. So most of the information that you'll hear today will still pertain to you. It's just unfortunately we do send them out in batches. So then it gives everyone ample amount of time to book their appointment. So I guess I'll start maybe by just explaining what kind of emails you'll be getting from me. So normally when you sit in on your academic advising appointment, we will start by going through program planner, and then semester 1 and semester 2 timetable. So that will also all be included in your email. For those returning students, we most likely would be going through your transcript as well. For returning students, I just wanted to let you know too, just a reminder that your transcript can be pulled up on your My Lakeland account. You can always view what courses you have already taken and compare it to your program planner to see what we need to still fill in. For new students, we'll be going through your program planner. So on the email that you'll get from me, the first step basically is easiest if you open up your program planner, depending on what major you have admitted yourself into. You'll go through basically some core courses, and then it will list your second year courses, but we'll mainly just be looking at your semester 1 and your semester 2, so for fall and winter semester. So for fall semester, when we be looking at your core courses, you'll relate your course code to the timetable. And then in the timetable, you'll see that there'll be various different sections of the exact same course code. This is the exact same course, it's just offered at different times. So basically the timetable is set up so that you can pick different times that may work best for you. And then it's kind of like a puzzle from there. We slot all the courses in so that it creates your timetable that works best for you. We normally do that for both semester 1 and semester 2. So then that way you're set up for the year. I don't force you though to pick semester 2. So if you just want to see how the fall goes, and then sometimes we'll meet again in October, November to pick your winter semester. That's okay too, but it is usually best to pick both at the same time, and then that way you have less to worry about. You can always make changes later. And then I guess the second portion of that, I did forget to mention, so for all the students who are getting these emails, you have to pay yours to be fully accepted and pay your tuition deposit before you're able to actually select your courses, and then that way it's saving your spot. So the first batch of emails have been sent out, and like I said, the second batch will be sent out for week in July, and then I just continue throughout the summer. So for those new students who maybe just applied and got accepted a couple weeks ago, you may not have gotten your email yet. Like I said, don't stress, it will be coming. And then if anyone has any questions at any point, you can always send me an email. So normally too on that email, I will give you guys a link to actually book your appointment with me. So I give you two options. So if you look at your program planner and you see your timetable and you've mapped it out all by yourself, and you would rather just send me an email if that's quicker and easier for you. Some people are still working throughout the day and may not have time throughout the week to meet with me over the phone or a video. You can just send me an email. Feel free, please, to just send me an email with your course selection, and I can also email you back with a confirmation once I've enrolled you. So if you are choosing to email me, please just include your first name, your last name, your student ID number, and what program you are in. That goes for returning students too, and that way it's easier. We do have some students with the same first and last name, so it's always easier to just go by your student ID number, and then that way we always know that we're looking at the right student. So you can email me, that's one option. The second option in that email will be a Calendly link. So it's really easy. You just click the link that I provide you. It will show my calendar, so you can actually book your own appointment. This also saves the back and forth of what time are you available, what day are you available. You can cancel your appointment and move your appointment if you can't show up, or something pops up and you need to change it. You can handle that all on your own. So it's just an easier transition basically in making sure that you're able to make that appointment. We have also been sending out reminders the night before about your appointment just in case you forget. But it does actually set up to your, so let's say you have your mail on your phone, it pops it right into your calendar as well. So hopefully that would also give you a reminder too. So that's the two different options. If you are booking a phone appointment or a video appointment, when you are booking your appointment in the Calendly link, please make sure to include your recent phone number. I only can go off if you don't actually pull up your number on that link. I go off of what's in PeopleSoft, and if that's not updated, then unfortunately, we only have 30 minutes per appointment. And so if I can't reach you by that 30 minutes, it hasn't happened yet. But if it does, then I have no way of getting a hold of you and we'll have to rebook your appointment. So just make sure you're including your contact information so it's easier to get a hold of you. And then just instructions on maybe some ways of getting a hold of you if you do want to do video, or just a phone number as well if you want to do a phone call. So that kind of sums up, I guess, the emails that you guys will be getting. What to look out for, I guess, for the rest of the summer. So again, this happens throughout the entire summer, so you don't have to worry and stress about doing it right away. If you're quite busy for the next month or so and you want to book towards the middle of the summer or the end of the summer, it's all whatever works for you. Just know that the closer you get to August, the less options may be available if some of the courses fill up. So we do have caps in our courses. So, the closer you get to the end of August, the more people have picked the courses and the less may be available for timings that you prefer. So you just get less choices on your timings. But no rush at all. It's whatever works best for you. So you can book your appointment when you would like. Closer to, I guess, August, you will be getting an email from, so this is pertaining to new students. You will get an email in regards to your My Lakeland account. This would be your student portal. So just make sure you're always checking your emails throughout the summer. Lakeland loves communicating by email. So just make sure that you are up to date on those emails. So one of them, the important ones, is your My Lakeland account. So making sure that you get that login and password, and you'll be able to see your active timetable kind of mid-August with what we've chosen during our appointment. And then for returning students as well, just note that if you haven't logged in all summer, you most likely will have to reset your password, and you do that by looking at your My Lakeland, and on the bottom you can click that My LC Help link desk, and they will reset it for you. Unfortunately, I don't have the power to do that, so if you email me about it, I will have to just refer you to that My Lakeland link. And yes, the next thing after that would be early bird. So an early bird won't be, unfortunately, happening in person this year, but we are going to be creating a new student starter guide. So this is, again, just for the new students coming in on campus. We basically will walk you through what it's like to be a new student, what to look out for the year, important information that you need to know about your student handbook. I'll be setting all that up for you. And then that way it's just an easier way that you can do on your own time to kind of walk yourself through what to expect for the beginning of the fall. And then also tips from instructors. Sometimes we also do some videos, I guess, on, some instructors' faces, so you can connect a face to a name once classes start. And so that will be coming out probably towards the beginning of August. So just, again, check your email for that link when that's available. But unfortunately, that won't be happening in person. And then not least is registration day on August 31st, I believe, and this may change. Hopefully, Kaylee, you can help me out after this, but I'm thinking that registration day won't be happening in person. It will also be online as well. And so again, that information will be sent out closer to the date, and then that way you guys have all that important information. I think, let me just double check so I haven't missed anything. I have been getting a couple emails just in regards to that you've left a message on my work phone. So probably for returning students, you would have my card and my phone number. I obviously am unfortunately not in the office. I don't have access to that work phone. So if you email me, that's your best route of communication, and then we can set up a phone appointment from there. So if you have left me a message, and you are wondering why I haven't gotten back to you, that would probably be why, because I do not have access to that phone. So I just wanted to make sure to mention today that you guys know to always email me. And then if I haven't gotten back to you right away, please be patient with my reply. I do get tons of emails, so I do filter them through as fast as I can. But if you haven't heard from me that same day, please just be patient. You will definitely be hearing from me as soon as I can. But just email is the best route of communication. I think that's it. Obviously, if there's more questions that come out throughout the question and answer period, I'm more than happy to always answer those for you. If you have questions throughout the summer, I'm working ways, so you can always send me an email and I can answer all those questions. If I don't know how to answer them, or if it's not related to something I can help you with, I will always forward information to the person so we connect with someone who can actually help you. All right. Well, I hope you guys have a great summer and looking forward to connecting with you soon. Oh, sorry. And I'm not sure who wants to go first, but I believe either Karen or Tammy is up next. You guys can take it away.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me? Yes. Okay. So I'm really happy to see some familiar faces in there. It's great to see. Well, look, I can see Brenda and Jeru on my screen right now, but it's really great to see faces of students. So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Tammy Smith, and I'm the Accessibility Advisor for Lakeland College. I work in a department of the college called the Commons. The whole purpose of the Commons department is to provide support to students and support them to be successful in their academic career while they're at Lakeland. I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the people in our department and some of the things that they do, and then I'm going to pass it over to Karen, who's our learner success strategist, so she can talk more about what she does. So in the Commons, we have wellness and counseling services. We have a wellness advisor. Her name is Sarah. Her job really is to support students with anything wellness related. And so that can be anything from coordinating wellness fair events on campus. I don't know what that will look like this year. That might be a little bit different. As well, like she can help students with budgeting. She helps students with figuring out where they can buy groceries, those kinds of things. So her role is really quite broad, and she's a great contact, really great person to connect with. I know she had set up an online meeting room for students once we moved to virtual delivery. So she's easy to access. We also have a registered psychologist on campus to provide free counseling services. So once we moved to virtual delivery, Chantel, who is our counselor, was able to set up counseling services almost immediately to happen in a secure meeting room, so very confidential. And her services actually picked up once she moved online. A lot of students actually really preferred to meet with her while they were hanging out in their living room or in their bedroom. She actually saw more students online than she did when she was in her office. So that too will be an option going forward in the fall. So I believe she's preparing for some face-to-face services if necessary, but she'll also have the virtual counseling sessions available to students. Ben Harrison is our librarian. He will be available face-to-face as well as virtually to support students with citation help, with research, things like that. And me, so as accessibility advisor, my job is to support students who have diverse learning needs. So that can be anything from having a learning disability to having a mental health diagnosis to having a chronic medical condition, or temporary medical conditions. So if like getting a concussion or something like that can really impact learning. As well, I will be available on campus for face-to-face meetings and virtually. I have a confidential meeting room set up that I can meet with students virtually. And the peer tutor program. So for those of you that were accessing or were peer tutors in the spring, you know that it was cut short very, very quickly once we moved to online, but that will be opening right back up again come the fall. So peer tutoring will be available again for students, and we're working on what that's going to look like because of the social distancing requirements, but we do have a system set up for peer tutors to connect with people who would want to be tutored, and that can happen online in virtual meeting rooms. So for those of you that don't know about our peer tutoring program, as a Lakeland College student, anyone who is in a 4-credit course they are eligible to receive up to 16 hours of free peer tutoring each semester, which is about 8 hours per course in up to 2 courses. We also hire students who are doing well in their courses to become peer tutors. So we pay them to be tutors. There's a bit of training that's involved with that. And then there is access to Karen Harris and myself to support the peer tutors to be able to support students to do well. Okay, I think that is everything for me. If there are no questions, I'm going to hand it over to Karen.
I'm assuming no questions, and I'm assuming you can hear me. So welcome everyone, welcome to Lakeland. We're really pleased that there's so many people on here, and we're really pleased that so many people are looking at coming to Lakeland. And it's a really great place to be. Now, has it turned upside down a little bit? Yeah, it turned upside down a little bit, and everybody scrambled, but these are really good people to work with. And I have the advantage of being able to see all the different departments because I work the whole college, and that means I'm on the Lloydminster campus, but I'm also on the Vermilion campus, and I work with the fire school and so on. So having said that, my job is, I really do think I've got the best job on the whole campus because I get to work with the individual students, and my job is all about learning. And it's my philosophy that everybody learns just a little bit differently. And with the changes that we're all going through and the differences in the way it's going to be presented to you, how you learn is going to really come back down to your strengths. And I'm just going to put it out there that most people don't know what their strengths are. It's because you're inside your picture frame and you can't see your own picture because you're too close. And that's where I have the advantage. I'm outside your picture frame, and so I can help you take a look at how you learn, specifically to you. What is your sensory type? Everybody's got a strength that they go to when it comes down to learning. And what is your personality type? Your personality type will change on kind of the events that you're in and the stage of life you're in. So it doesn't matter if you're coming out of high school or if you've got a couple of kids and you're deciding to change careers, or if you just decided that you want to pick up some courses just because that's the fun thing to do. Everybody, when I talk about learning to them, will go back straight to high school. This is how I was in high school. And I'm here to say it, and I'm going to oversimplify this, but it doesn't really matter what happened in high school in a lot of ways, because that was a different situation. You were told what to do, when to do, where to do it, and how many times to do it. And I know that because my experiences, I'm a high school math teacher by trade. And so that's what I would do. I'd tell people when to do it, where to do it, how to do it, how many times to do it, and get to a level. And then when they got to that level, we'd have some kind of evaluation. And if that wasn't going so well, then I'd pull you in and I'd work with you one-to-one. And if that wasn't going so well, then I might bring in the big guns, and that's your parents, and bring them in, and we try to get this all to work. 80% of your learning in high school depended on me as a teacher. I was responsible for all of that. But when you flip to college or any post-secondary, it doesn't matter what you're doing post-secondary, that flips. And that 80% that was on the teacher before is now on the 80% of you. And that's a transition, transitioning from where you were, even if you're in the workplace, transitioning from that into the college. And with the transitions that the college is going through, it could be a little bit rocky. And that's where I come in. I'm the how person. How do I do this? How do I get myself organized? How do I learn the best? What's best for me? You may be the person that wants to sit down and read, or that may be the worst thing that you should be doing. And there's all kinds of techniques, but what my job really is to get to know you a bit and then focus your strengths back onto you and say, okay, for you, this is what you need to do. This will work better than this. That will work better than that, and so on. So I'm not going to take a lot of time to talk about this right now, but I will invite you, and as Ben said earlier, if to get on this early is a real advantage to you. If you can sort of figure out how you work and who you work and how do you want to do it, like Ben said, do you want to be face-to-face, or do you want to be online, or do you want to be some combination there in between? And if you can sort of get that figured out, and then maybe sit down and have a conversation with me too, so I can help you sort of negotiate that, that's a really good starting point. And once you take that first step, and it's a strong step, and you say, yeah, this is good for me, I'm good, off you go. Or you may take about 3 steps in that and say, I changed my mind, I don't like it so much, so maybe I'll try this. And those kinds of conversations are the ones that I really enjoy having. And so with all the changes in the college, it actually opens me up a little bit more so that we can do these kinds of teams meetings, just one-on-one, or if you prefer, we can do face-to-face at the college. I work anytime the students do. So I'm available after class, I'm available kind of whenever works for you. So it's been a real advantage to have this opportunity to come in and sort of you guys can put a face to a name. But I will invite you to, I'm going to give you my cell phone number. And this is how all students get a hold of me. You can email me. I think my name is on the letters that we're going out. I think it's on there. But if it's not, get your pen ready, because this is the number that students text me. And they just shoot me a text and say, hey, I'm so-and-so. I'm thinking about coming into class. I'm in business, wherever you're at. And I will, I'll respond to you and we can set up a chat. And like I said, the sooner the better. So my number here is 780-808-9623. And if I was really thinking, I would have put it in to, and I will do that. I will put it in the, oh, thank you, Tammy. Tammy and I work together. She's always got my back. She always helps me out on that. So feel free to text that number and we can just do a one-on-one and we'll just visit for a while and we can go through some of those concerns from a learner's point of view. How do I learn this stuff? One of the biggest things about learning is if I had given, if you had to learn a topic and we gave you 6 months to learn it and it was just a tiny little topic, everybody can do that. If we gave you, it changes though, if it comes down from 6 months to a month to 6 days to 6 hours to 6 minutes, that influence of time will make a difference on how you learn things. And so when you can understand what your strengths are and understand how you work specifically, it just makes it easier. It just does. And so that's what I do. And I love this job. I think it's the best job in the world. So I would invite you to take advantage of it. And I just saw your comment go through, Brenda. Thanks for the 2 bits. I appreciate it. Okay, back to you, Caitlin.
Awesome. And I did just see a question pop up. So just so that everyone is aware, Tammy did in the comment section put both contact information for Tammy and Karen. So if you want to write that down, and also I believe when we're recording this, the chat portion is also recorded. So you can look back at the link and see those important contact information. And then obviously you can always ask us to time to how to get a hold of them. I just had one question pop up I think will relate to everyone. So I'm just going to maybe, if you guys don't mind, I'll just answer that question quick and then we'll open up our question and answer period. You guys can, I guess as I'm chatting, write your question in the chat portion there. And then we will answer them away for you. So one of the questions that popped up was just when you're actually enrolled into your courses that you can pay your fees. So your fees are always due on registration day, which is August 31st. Once you have your course selection appointment with me throughout the summer, I do record your courses into a file, and that file gets saved for the registrar to actually enter you. Normally that entering from the registrar doesn't happen until August, which is why you don't get your My Lakeland information until August. And then your My Lakeland timetable doesn't pop up until that happens. So sometimes it can be the middle of August. Basically your fees again will be calculated once your courses are entered. So if you have any questions kind of towards August and you're not seeing that, that's probably why. So just be patient with us as we work through the system. And then as your courses are enrolled. But no worry, once you meet with me, you will be able to see your courses that you selected, just not until August. So hopefully that answers. If you have any questions about fees though, Keely did in the chat, I think give the student services number, the Lloydminster campus phone number. Yep, so you can always call them and ask specific questions about your fees. You just can't pay until later in August. So I don't know if I've seen any other questions up yet.
Caitlin, I'll jump in here.
Sure.
Ben brought up, I'd like to answer the question Ben brought up earlier in the call today on laptops, or answer it the best that I can. And Ben, I'm giving you a heads up. There's a lot of questions in the chat bar about online versus face-to-face, and we are trying to manage expectations at this call. So I think it's blended versus fully online. So if you wouldn't mind talking to that when I'm finished with my laptop spiel. So yes, as far as the laptops are concerned, or computer or technology, if you have some needs, if you have your own computer, laptop, tablet, and you can use those and internet connections and all of that, if you're set up, then please use your personal devices. We have limited resources, and we're kind of reserving laptops, which we do have some extras. We're reserving some of those for lending in cases where they're absolutely needed. So if you have your own device, please use it. If you do need a device, please let us know, and then we will try our best to connect you with a device. So I think that's about as much as I can say about the technology at this point. So I'll flip it over to Ben, maybe to talk a little bit more, just to clarify the face-to-face versus online.
Thank you very much, Brad. Now, earlier, just before I go into that, earlier I did also mention that this COVID-19 is a rather, annoying and painful and deadly disease. And planning to deal with something which is deadly and keeps changing is not the easiest thing to do. And so with that in mind, instructors have prepped for online delivery in the first instance. As the rules have improved to allow us to have some face-to-face interaction and support, we will have the instances and situations where some content could be delivered to smaller groups of people in person with a bunch of rules being followed. So would this blended option feel like the beginning of this year's classes? No, it will not feel like that because the world has changed completely since then. So in the first instance, we have planned for a fully online fall. As the rules have improved to allow us this flexibility, instructors are now including in the option of meeting smaller groups of students following the necessary rules to offer some support and some instruction as possible. But that would not be something mandated. That would be something that the instructor would discuss with students at the beginning of our fall semester. Brad, if you want to add anything to that, or Caitlin, that would be helpful.
Sure. No, it's a great response. I fully support what you're saying, Ben. And again, we're trying our best to manage the expectations. A lot of the questions came up, which courses will be online and which ones will be face-to-face. And really, they will all be online with some face-to-face options during the semester. And if you're not able to come in due to distance or sickness or maybe some apprehension on being in a public place with other people, there will be options for you to do your programming online where it's not a disadvantage to you. So I think that probably covers it. Caitlin, did you have anything to add?
Yeah, that's perfect. And I think one of the questions too that just popped up kind of relates to what you guys were just saying. So the question was, if the majority of our classes are online, can we defer until the second semester? And so we do have Keely's, I think, still on the call. I believe that is an option. If you really want to defer to the winter semester, obviously no one knows what's going to happen in the winter or, the ever-changing situation of COVID. So we can't promise what the winter obviously will look like. But you can always reach out to Keely or Jessica, the enrollment specialist for business, or the admissions department, if you do want to talk specifically about your application if you are coming in as a brand new student. Answers the majority. Did anyone else have any? Oh, there is a question here about it wanted to know how our exams will look like this fall. Will they be online or face-to-face? I don't know if Ben, if you have any information about that. So probably final exams or maybe exams throughout the semester.
Sorry, say that again, please, Caitlin.
So they're just wondering if we know basically on how the exams will look like throughout the semester. So either final exams or maybe if there's exams that pop up per course throughout the semester. Obviously, the instructor will give you some clarity on that, but I don't know if we have.
Again, one thing is we are giving profs a lot of flexibility here. Certain courses lend themselves a lot easier to online assessments. And for the most part, most of your exams, you will be able to take them online. In a few cases and for certain specific assessments, you may have to physically come in, but I'm sure that will be the exception rather than the norm. Generally speaking, we are expecting most of your assessments to be able to be completed online. And but of course, if a student says, I want to come and sit in the library with my paper and complete it, that's fine. I want to have a printed copy and sit. I mean, there will be nothing stopping you from doing that. In an exam where people can take it from home, we will not invigilate it like we would ordinarily do when we have a face-to-face exam. But each instructor has been given the flexibility to choose assessment options which work very well with the particular course we are talking about.
Awesome. Thanks, Ben. And then we just have one more question here that's relating to transfer credit. So if you are a brand new accepted student and you haven't gotten that email from me, you can always reach out to me with your transfer credit questions. I just won't be able to obviously do anything until you've paid your tuition deposit. So if you're fully accepted, you've paid your tuition deposit and you haven't gotten your new email, new student email yet, you can either wait for that email if you're in the next batch, which would be next week, which is the 1st of July. Or you can reach out to me. I'll just type my email address in the comment section here and let me know if you have transfer credit questions, and we can start that transfer credit process early. And then that way we can start the assessment and don't have to wait until you book your appointment. Hopefully we'll maybe have time to look at those courses before we actually meet. And Jessica did put her contact information as well. So she is the enrollment specialist for business. If you want to reach out to Jessica Almondre, she has her email here as well.
Yeah, I can take this. We only have a couple of minutes left here, but there was a suggestion that we make our courses fully online or fully face-to-face. Know that we have limits on how many students we can have on campus. And so we are looking either blended or fully online. And each class will have, they'll be delivered mostly online with some face-to-face options to be on campus. So please be prepared for that. We have legal limits on how many students we can have, and being a school as big as we are, over 300, and there's over 300 in university transfer, we do need to manage how many people are physically on site. So we're trying to keep safety first, and quality, although it is second, it is very important to us as well that you're receiving a quality education this year. I think we're pretty much out of time. Please feel free to ask more questions directly to the advisor, directly to Caitlin, to our recruitment staff for sure. Appreciate all of you taking time to be a part of this call today. I hope that we've accomplished the goal of maybe easing some stresses or clarifying maybe some questions that you've had. And we wish you all the best this summer as you prepare for the fall term. And we're looking forward. We're still making lots of preparations on campus and for online delivery. We encourage you to come prepared for a little bit of a different delivery this next semester. And know this is a temporary, it could be a fall, it could be fall and winter. It is a temporary situation until there is some sort of inoculation for COVID-19. So this is something that we weren't expecting. None of us were. We're doing our best to adjust to it while maintaining safety and quality. And we're giving lots of options to people that are nervous about being on campus or not able to be on campus. And that also helps us in terms of controlling the numbers of students. So health and safety and quality are certainly our priority when it comes to the fall. As soon as we can offer more face-to-face, we will. Business is prepared, and we've been preparing for years to deliver more online options. And our intention is not to change Lakeland business to a fully online school. So again, this is a temporary solution to a real issue in society at this time. When we're through to the other side, we still hope to have some online options, fully online option for courses. But our face-to-face delivery is our strength. And we look forward to the day when we can return to that and have fully face-to-face courses available to you at the college on campus. So I think that probably covers the call for today. Again, thank you so much for joining us. We're 2 minutes over, and we do want to respect your time today. Again, if you have other questions, we've got lots of contact information. Please reach out to us, and we're happy to help. Thank you, everyone. Enjoy your summer, and enjoy the sunny day.